Y'all have been waiting for this video for way too long, but I am in KVK and it's time for me to break down all of the new crystal technologies and, more importantly, what you should be investing in depending upon your spending level and depending upon when the combat in KVK is. Come join me. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay episode from your very own Shappy Gaming. If you're new to the channel, my name's Shappy. I'm a sponsored Rise of Kingdoms content creator, and today we are talking all about crystal tech. Now, if this is a topic that you have been begging for, be sure to drop a like on the video. It took a ton of time to get this recorded, but my goal is to try and create the best guide that I possibly can for you guys. And so if you do enjoy this, be sure to save this video, because I know that when you're going through and prepping for KVK, it can be really hard to actually figure out what the right ordering is, and I just want to make it as easy as possible for you. So today we're going through a couple different things. We're going to start with kind of my tech, where it is right now, what my spending level is, because I think I represent kind of the majority of players. And then we're going to jump into the simulator, in which I can show you the correct ordering depending upon what your spending level is and where some of the limitations and friction are as a player. So let's begin with my tech here. So this was my tech going into Zone 5. So here you go. You can see I have my bows there. I've got Cultural Exchange 15, Cutting Corners level 10. I've got some defense tech, and this is where I capped out. I was not able to get to health before Zone 5. That's really important, because getting to health before Zone 5 for most players is going to be unlikely. And this was something that I found just by going through and doing my crystal tech. I think I did a pretty good job all in all. There are a couple of little tips that I want to make sure I provide here. You will be forced to invest in march speed at some point. So even if you're a cav primary, like I consider myself to be, I run 2 cav marches, 2 infantry, you are going to want to invest in infantry tech for the march speed. So if you look right here, you see how I had to max that swift marching level 10. You will have to do that too for at least one of your different march speed techs. So just keep that in mind as you're going through the sequencing. But the biggest block that I hit was this larger camps and the health section. Special concoctions and larger camps were the biggest obstacle for me. Now, if you are chaining barbarians, or you have already bought the Crystal Quest bundle, if you're not sure what that is, I can show that to you right now. The Crystal Quest bundle is the one that you get from down here in the Crystal Mine. So if you go down here, this bundle, I did not buy it. It is a $15 bundle. But if you're buying this, you may be able to get to health just before Zone 5. But even when you get to health, and this is one of the reasons why I have the game up right now, even when you get to health, you will not be able to get very far. I'm in Zone 5 now. We're like 3 days into Zone 5. You can get to level 2, but then you have to go do Special Concoctions level 8. And for most players, you're not going to be able to do that. So just keep that in mind as you're going through and doing the sequencing. Different troops require different buffs, and so you're going to want to focus on that. But if you're just like, hey, I'm trying to get the best tech I possibly can before Zone 5, you're going to want to learn from my experience here, because I wish that I had done things slightly differently, if I'm being honest. I think my tech isn't all that bad, right, going into here. But like, one of the things you'll notice is I didn't have any archer march speed. I ended up investing in that later on. I have max call to arms, which is great. Barbarian bounties, I did 11 out of 15 because I was pushing a bunch during 7K event, so that was fine. I could have gone further, but I didn't. I had 0 improved bows, even though I had just matched QSH for Zone 5. And then everything else I would say I did actually pretty all right. So let's actually jump into the simulator now to show you guys exactly what the correct order is, and then talk about some of the considerations that you're going to have along the way. But let's say you didn't want to go the way I suggested, right? You're just going to be rushing tech, and you don't necessarily care about optimizing for where you are in KVK when you're using it. Well, let's actually go through and figure out exactly what the optimal path is going to be. So obviously we're going to go ahead and we're going to max our Crystal Research Center. I would recommend this no matter what. And again, let's start with infantry because we know we're going to have to invest in swift marching at some point. So let's begin with Quench Blades. Great. Now we'll do Swift Marching. Swift Marching 1. Perfect. And there's actually a dependency here already where you have to give Swift Marching to level 3. So let's get Swift Marching to level 3. Now we can unlock Call to Arms. But Swift Marching level 3 actually is going to require the Quench Blades to also be level 3. So there we go. We've got that unlocked. And now Call to Arms is going to be unlocked. So that's fine. Let's go ahead. Let's max cutting corners. I think that makes sense. And we want to make sure, again, we're optimizing as much as possible. Now, one of the problems you're going to run into here is you can't even unlock Cultural Exchange until you have Call to Arms 1 level 5. So let's go ahead. Let's get Call to Arms 1 level 5. There we go. And now we can unlock Cultural Exchange. Already, you can see you're moving pretty quickly, and you haven't had to unlock a lot of these other techs. So that's fine. We have Cultural Exchange level 1 already set up. Now, let's go ahead and start pushing, right? We have Call to Arms level 2. Call to Arms level 2 is actually going to require Cultural Exchange to be level 5. And we're already hitting friction because we can get to level 4 here, but Call to Arms 1 actually has to be level 8 before you can push Cultural Exchange to level 5. Let's go ahead, level this up to level 8, and of course, we have to get March Speed here up to level 5. So there we go. That's up to level 5. Call to Arms is level 8. Now we can do Cultural Exchange level 5. So we've gotten that, and now let's get Call to Arms unlocked. So there's Call to Arms 2. And let's max out cutting corners because we are now here. So that's going to be best. You now have a crystal cost reduction of 25%, which you should see pay off pretty quickly. So we've done that. And now let's see if we can actually go ahead and do Quench Blades number 2. Nope, you cannot do that because in order to do Quench Blades number 2, you actually need Call to Arms level 2 to be level 8. So what happens if we try to get this to level 8? There we go. So that's perfectly fine. There is no dependency there, which is nice. I am a big fan that they didn't add another dependency there because that would have made this even more painful than it already is. But keep in mind, if you did want to push Call to Arms to a higher level here, which if you're a whale and you're pushing tech, you're probably going to, you will need to then push Call to Arms level 1 up to level 10. So just keep that in mind. If you wanted to push these up, you're going to have to push them all up. So just a quick heads up there that is a dependency that you will have to keep in mind as you go about doing this. But that's fine. We technically don't need Call to Arms level 2 to be beyond level 8 right now. So let's go ahead and let's go get Quench Blades level 2 unlocked. So Quench Blades level 2 is unlocked. Okay, now we're on defense. Love defense. Let's get Swift Marching. Swift Marching's also unlocked. And let's get larger camps up. Oh, we can't do this. This is where we hit those dependencies that I was just talking about. So larger camps requires that I have Swift Marching to be level 8. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get this up. Can't do that. Star Metal Shields now needs to be level 5. So let's go ahead and get Star Metal Shields up to level 5. Can't do that. Quench Blades 2 needs to be level 5. So there we go. Quench Blades 2 is all the way up. Star Metal Shields is up to level 5. Swift Marching is up to level 5. Okay. This needs to be level 8. And there's another dependency. Now Star Metal Shields actually needs to be level 10. So there we go. Star Metal Shields is level 10. That's all good. No problem there. And now we can do Swift Marching level 8. And now we've got larger camps level 1 unlocked. So that is the biggest, I think, pain point that I've seen so far. And this is where I got stuck and why I said you guys are probably going to want to be careful when you're trying to chase the health early on in the KVK, because health is actually going to be incredibly expensive to get to. But that's fine. So we've got level 1 unlocked. Now what? Well, let's see what happens if we try to get Special Concoctions. Special Concoctions requires larger camps to be level 3. Okay, well, we can go up 1 level just fine, but going up to level 3 actually has a dependency here where now I have to get Barbarian Bounties, Cultural Exchange, and Karaku Reports to level 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and try and do that. So Cultural Exchange to level 7, no biggie. Barbarian Bounties to level 7, it's pretty cheap. Karaku Reports to level 7. So you have to invest in all this econ tech whether you like it or not, which personally I would have done earlier because, again, you're probably going to be chaining Barbarians and you're also probably going to be doing Bastion quests. But up to you guys. You can do what you want. This is just my suggestion. But that's fine. So now we have to go through and we have to get those up. No problem. And let's go back over to larger camps. And now we should be able to get larger camps up to level 3. So there we go. Larger camps is up to level 3. And that means we can finally unlock special concoctions. Great. Special concoctions is unlocked. And can we go ahead and start working on our infantry? Now, special concoctions actually needs to be level 5. So we can go up 2, 3, 4, but we cannot go to level 5 because level 5 is actually going to require that we max out Swift Marching to level 10. So there we go. Now we've maxed that to level 10. So Swift Marching is up. Now we should be able to go to level 5. And now you're going to be getting to just about where I was, where we have Iron Infantry level 2. So that's fine. Iron Infantry is level 2. But now you've kind of reached a decision point because Iron Infantry is level 2. But in order to get Iron Infantry to level 3, and this is actually where I am right now in game, you actually need to get Special Concoctions to level 8. So we can go back and we can push Special Concoctions again, 7. And level 8 of Special Concoctions actually requires larger camps to be level 4. Well, that's going to be a problem because level 4 of larger camps is actually going to require that we get our Cultural Exchange, Barbarian Bounties, and Karaku Reports up to level 12. So let's see if we can do that. And if you haven't already at this point, Cultural Exchange level 10 does have a dependency, and I think we probably covered this, but I'll call it out anyways. Cultural Exchange level 10 has a dependency on Quench Blades 2, so that's that infantry tech that we were just at, being maxed out. So fortunately, I've already got that covered. So there we go. And we need to get this to level 12. We need to get this to level 12. And we need to get this to level 12. So all of those are up to level 12 now. Now we should be able to push larger camps to level 4. So we have larger camps up to level 4. No big deal. Everything's fine. But what does that actually do for me? Well, larger camps level 4 enables me to now go and do special concoctions level 8. So that's fine. And now I can go ahead and I can get my infantry health up to level 3. So great. But I can't go beyond that. So if you want to go beyond that for your health bonus, what you're going to need to do is now you actually need to get emergency support to level 8. Emergency support does not have any dependencies, so we can actually push emergency support to level 8 if we want. So there we go. Boom, that's done. So all good there. And now we can push this up at least one more. There we go. And now we also have to have another dependency once you hit level 6. So if you wanted to keep pushing this, you're going to have to keep doing these other dependencies. And this next one is hard because we're going to have to go back over to special concoctions. And now you have to max special concoctions and bring it to level 10 if you want to keep pushing this tech. But there's a decision point here. Do you want to go for health or do you want the 6 march? Personally, I'm going to go for health because I only have 5 marches, but if you're a whale, you probably will have made a different decision. If you wanted to, when we were going through and we were upgrading Barbarian Bounties, Cultural Exchange, and all of those good things, instead of bringing them to just level 12, you could max them out. And when you max them out, there we go, you unlock the ability to upgrade larger camps to level 5. And larger camps level 5 will unlock the ability for you to do expanded formations 1. So just keep that in mind. You don't necessarily have to keep pushing on health, but if you want to, you're going to have to jump through some of those other hoops that I was just showing you. So there we go. We've got our expanded formation. We're all set. We can do combat now. We've basically finished all of our econ, whether we like it or not. And that's that. So now, if I'm going to go ahead and I want to push special concoctions up because I need to then do that in order to get Iron Infantry to level 6. Uh, let's see. Are there any dependencies? I don't think so. So I can go ahead, just spend a crap ton of crystals there. And there we go. Now we can push Iron Infantry to level 6. But you're still not done because you could push it to level 6 and then you can push it to level 7. But there is a dependency when you go for level 8, which requires emergency support to be level 10. So now you can finally push this all the way up if you want to, which realistically, you're probably going to want to. So there you go. Now we finished our infantry tech. And let's do swift marching. Just a heads up, if you wanted to push swift marching at all, there is a dependency that Iron Infantry be level 5. So you're going to have to jump through at least some of the hoops that we spoke about earlier. So for level 4, you're going to have to get emergency support to level 8. And then you're going to be okay. That's the only dependency you have to worry about, is you just have to get emergency support to level 8. And you're going to have to get special concoctions to level 8. But you had to do that anyways to get it to level 3. So finally, we have swift marching unlocked. Great. So now, what does that mean? Can I finally go ahead and get special concoctions too? Nope. You need to get swift marching to level 5. Well, swift marching to level 5 requires Iron Infantry level 10. So you're going to have to go through and do all this anyways. You cannot go ahead and get pre-defer without going through and doing this friction right here. It's really frustrating. It's really expensive, but it just does go to show you that even if you're wailing out, you still can't get very far without going through and doing some of these things. So, okay, now we finally have swift marching to be level 5, and we have Iron Infantry maxed out. So I should be able to do special concoctions 1 now. So there's special concoctions 1. And I want to do pre-defer, right? That's my big priority here. Well, in order to do pre-defer, even level 1, I have to get special concoctions 2 to be level 3. Okay, so no dependency on 2. But there's a dependency on 3. So now I have to max out swift marching. Fortunately, there are no additional dependencies. It's just a lot of crystal. So we've maxed out swift marching there. And this was why we chose infantry, if you recall, because I know it was going to be expensive. And now I should be able to do special concoctions level 3, which we can. And now you can do pre-defer. So this is essentially the end of your tech tree at this point because you've got pre-defer unlocked. There is some friction here. If you wanted to get pre-defer to level 3, you have to get all troop march speed to level 5. So that's going to be a little bit more friction. So if we wanted to go here, you need to get swift marching 1, fleet of foot 1, swift steeds, reinforced axles to level 5. So you're going to need that. That's all the level 1 march speeds. So that's fine. We'll go ahead. We'll do that. No big deal. So we'll do this, do this, do this. That's not too bad. It's just a little bit of additional cost. Realistically, you've probably already done this from a combat standpoint. So that's fine. So now we've got that done. Now I can do pre-defer to level 3. And then you can do level 4 as well for free. Level 5 is going to require special concoctions to also be level 5. And special concoctions, of course, has a dependency at level 5. So if you're going to do special concoctions level 5, you need leadership 2 to be level 10. Now, if you haven't noticed, we haven't touched leadership. So in order for leadership 2 to be level 10, you're really going to have to go through and deal with even more dependencies that you probably had zero interest in dealing with, but that's how this goes. So leadership 2 has a dependency at level 3 for you to then go do leadership level 5. So now I need to go back and I need to do leadership level 5. So that's done. And then if you haven't already, if you wanted to get this up to level 5, there's actually a dependency here that wasn't captured, but it is here, where you need to get call to arms level 2 to level 10. Now, if you remember, call to arms 2 to level 10 requires call to arms 1 to be level 10. So lots of dependencies once you start pushing this pre-defer up all the way. Again, realistically, you're probably going to be investing in a different order than this, but my goal here is just to show you the increased cost as you move along. Now, if you said, you know what, Chappie, I don't really care about getting pre-defer up. I want my 7th March. Well, I don't know how easy that's going to be. Because in order to get your 7th March unlock, you need Special Concoctions to be level 10. Special Concoctions being level 10 has a dependency at level 5, which we already know about, which says that you need to get Swift Marching level 3 to level 10. So that's fine. So now we should be able to put this. But again, you have that leadership dependency again. So that leadership dependency is going to be what gets you. You have to do that either for pre-defer or you have to do it for expanded formation. So this is really where you're going to be stuck. But that's okay. We'll go ahead. We'll do this. Leadership is up. And again, we are going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to do Call to Arms level 10 as soon as we get to level 5 here. So we skip that, but let's do it anyways. So Call to Arms 2 level 10. There we go. Leadership 2 is done. And now I should finally be able to push up Special Concoctions 2. So there we go. Level 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I can't do 10 yet. And remember, we need 10 for expanded formations. There's another dependency here, which requires Swift Marching 2, Fleet of Foot, Swift Seeds all to be level 10, which I can't do. So I'm going to have to go through, and I'm going to have to do all of these. All of these need to be level 10. There's a dependency here where you have to max all of them. And remember, if you want to max all of them, you are going to have to go through and deal with a lot of the friction that came from Star Metal Shields, etc. So that's going to be the friction there. Once you've done all of that, then you can finally push Special Concoctions up, you can unlock expanded formations, and you can get running with pre-defer. So that's going to be the last major pain point here. If you then want to get this up, there's another dependency on level 8, which is really just going to be, you need to get all troop type March speed 2 to level 10, which we already were trying to do anyways. So that should be fine. Yeah, you need to get Swift Marching 2, Fleet of Foot, all that to level 10. So that is going to be really the tech tree for you guys. It is a lot of crystals. The actual cost is actually pretty low. And you'll notice by investing in the crystal tech cost reduction, you end up saving yourself a lot of crystals. But it's going to take you around 65 to 70 million to max tech. So I'd be prepared for that. Actually, though, it's really only going to be about 50. So not too bad there, but you are not going to be able to get max tech really before zone 5, maybe even before zone 6. I think it's probably going to be a just before King's Land thing if you're going to be doing it at all. If this has been helpful, be sure to drop a like on this video. It took a ton of time to make, but I wanted to make sure I help you guys out. And if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner, and the bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. I also have a doc that I'm going to be linking in the description that also walks through all these dependencies. So if you don't want to listen to me and you just want to look at a doc, that'll be there too. Thank you all. Chappie out.